Well, today we begin the fourth book of the Bible, what in our English translations is known as the book of Numbers. As I'll say in my sermon today, I far prefer the title in the Hebrew Bible, which is In the Wilderness. And that really describes the context and what happens in the book of Numbers far better than Numbers, which just comes from the Greek and the Latin, referring to taking the census or the numbering of the people, with which the book begins in the first four chapters and again in chapter 26. But in the wilderness, God's people have to learn how to live with one another when they're on the road and so much of life is uncertain. And when life is uncertain and unpredictable, you can bet that people are going to hurt one another, they're going to offend one another, intentionally, unintentionally. And one of the things that's important in life is to be able to accept responsibility when we've made a mistake, when we've messed up, and to confess it and to make restitution whenever possible. And our verse of the day is about that very topic. It's from Numbers chapter 5 in verse 7 in a section about confession and restitution. Verse 7 says that the person who has broken faith with the Lord shall confess the sin that has been committed. The person shall make full restitution for the wrong, adding 1/5 to it and giving it to the one who was wronged. I think part of why this ancient teaching touches me, especially in the times in which we're living, is because of the inability of people to actually acknowledge they did anything wrong, much less confessing that we have done something wrong and making restitution where and whenever possible. We live in what I would somewhat call an age of deflection, when we're accused of something or when people have clearly done something. It's even on videotape for anyone to see. The inability to confess, what I did was wrong and I'm sorry. How can I make it right? Our inability to do that, both as individuals and in our society, is really harming our sense of community and our sense of unity. God knows that for the Israelites traveling together in the wilderness with so much uncertain, that it was critically important then, as it still is today, when you make a mistake, own it, accept responsibility for it, acknowledge it, confess it, and do whatever you can do to try to make it right. That's how you build healthy relationships, healthy communities, and a healthy nation.